right. Market's not open yet. Getting ready to open. 924, 925. All right. So we'll just be trading with VWAP, basically support and resistance and market structure, looking at, you know, looking at chart patterns and so forth. All right. 2 minute chart. We could go to a 5 minute chart, but we'll use the 2 minute chart today. So we'll use like a 2 minute or a 5 minute chart, basically. Market's really not moving much right now because we're getting ready to open in another 4 minutes, actually 3 minutes. So I'll just sit here and wait, draw my levels. So I'm using the session volume profile today. So there's nothing from the past. I'm not using anything in the past. I'm just using today's VPI, today's VPF. I'll have VWAP on, and this marks my open and close and high low of the session. This will mark my opening range, and this was Ichimoku. I'm not using that. On my computer, come on, don't do this. Not right now. So depending on the range, I'm planning to trade that opening range breakout. It all depends. Now I'm set to have a 5 minute opening range breakout. So I'm on a 2 minute candles. So my third candle would be the breakout candle. We keep pausing here. Just going to my computer. I can't have this in real time. This usually doesn't happen to me. But look at that pause. It went from 27 to 24. Everything's got to be right. That's why you got to make sure you got a good computer. But nothing really to talk about yet because I planned my day basically off of the levels. Now, I didn't mark my overnight levels. This is the overnight high. This is automatic. And this is the overnight low. So you could see these levels right now. Okay. And then coming into the session, the volume profile is set for session. So it's going to show what today's session is looking like. So that's what we'll see. And we got less than 10 seconds. Market open. Starting to see a little bit of movement. See that volume coming in? Here we go. So here's my volume profile starting to mark. Okay, here's the PLC. And then the brown golden lines are going to be the opening range, high and low. This is going to be my value area. These two darker blue dashed lines, that'll be the value area. And you can see that moves as the market moves. And then this is the low and the high of the session. Basically, it's going to be like the IB, the initial balance. So let's see what we got here. See what VWAP reacts once we get this candles closed. So I usually don't really look for much in that first half hour because I like the market to settle out. Really want to see what the direction of the market is or what kind of day it's going to be. You could tell what kind of day it's going to be basically by the initial balance, but also the opening range. Sometime you'll stay inside that range or you'll break out to the upside or downside. And that kind of sets the tone for the day. So at this point, we're just waiting. A lot of indecision right here, right? Let's see what happens. So VWAP's here. That's all we got on the chart, really. And I'm not trading based like I'm above VWAP, so I'm bullish, and I'm below, I'm bearish. Really, if I'm above, I should be bearish because this is fair value market price. If I'm below, I should be bullish, fair market value price. You'll be able to see my profit here for the session. And you can see the value area moving, market just open. That volume, 70% of the volume is in this area. Not much volume above that area or below that area, less volume. So you figure 30% divided between these two areas, lower and upper area. All the main volume is in this area. Let's get this a little bigger. All right, so some main levels. Let's look at some main levels. currently looking at this level right here. Now this is a bad sign. This is a rejection here. Might see this market drop off of this level. Depending on what this candle shows, we got mostly bullish volume coming. Bearish volume. So this looks like it could be a dark cloud cover with a big rejection on the previous candle. So we're inside this previous candle. So you have an inside day there. Oh, well, an inside candle, not inside day. But now it looks like it's trying to change on us. So pushing up towards this top. Now we got a double top here. We broke through that level. Now, we didn't complete a dark cloud cover there. So no reversal sign here. There was a good rejection here, but it was the same size as the candle. You could see the bulls decided to take over, and they did. They pushed it up higher. So this is the overall high and low of the VP. And we're right at this level right here, pushed up against that point. This is the value area high, PLC. So this area is going to be a support and resistance area. Let's mark this. Let's mark this area here. This could be a level. Actually, let me not feel this. So a bearish sign here up against this rejection. This high here. Not quite knowing what's happening. So let's see where we are. I'll be looking at this area. Actually going to come down one because there's the high node right there. So we'll be here. We got off of this top here. You got support there, resistance here. So this will be a level we'll pay attention to. This is a bearish sign right here because we have a dark cloud cover. Pretty good size too. I would be looking at that short quite possibly if I had a stronger resistance level, but I don't, so I'm not going to mess with that right yet. Plus the market just opened, so I want to make sure of the direction. I usually don't get in here early like this. And you could see what's happening. Dark cloud cover. A lot of times you just need to look at, now we're looking back at this fractal level. Let's see what the market does at this level. If it's going to honor it or not, because it's lining up with the value area. So let's see what it does. I'm just going to mark it. We want to see if it's going to honor that level. It's not honoring that level. And it blew past my support and resistance level also. So I'm going to remove this. Because I'm not going to use it because we blew past it. Let's see what this level does also. This is a good level also. Let's see. All right, so we made a new Well, the range, we broke out of the opening range right there. I'm not trading that big candle. I wouldn't take this short on that big candle. Probably see the market move up a little bit off of this level, quite possibly. Not going to be able to take every single trade that goes because sometimes there's reasons why you can't get that trade. So one of the reasons here was this candle was just too monstrous for me. I mean, I could have taken the entry at this point, but the market just opened. So I wanted to be sure of what I got going on. So find the support and resistance levels. And I'm not real sure of my levels yet either right here. So I'm gonna move this down because look how it changed. You could see this area changed a little bit. So now you have bigger um, value here, more volume here. So, and this is where this came down for support. Um, there's a slight level here we could mark. So basically this area, looking at it coming back up to here, let's see. Looking at this level right here, this area right here, because you got this wick right here, which is basically a fractal where the market came back down to and bounced to move higher. But we weren't going to be able to trade that at the open. Then I'm not sure what's happening right now. So just going to hold on. So this level is a good level of support and resistance. We'll see what it does. So a new candle open. And I wouldn't have taken a long here because I didn't have my support and resistance drawn, and I wouldn't have been able to trade it with this kind of a candle. I would have been trading now. Had I had the level there, I might have been able to trade the level because we dropped way below it and I could have put an entry at the top. But the market just opened. We just getting this volume situated. So we'll see. So watch your lows and highs of candles. Okay, and watch these bodies. Those are going to be important because what it'll help you to start seeing certain types of patterns that the market makes. So we're really inside this one candle, but that candle's so big. Okay, so nothing for me right now that I can trade. This level was tested previously, so 1-2 tests. Let's see what we got going on. Nothing yet. So I don't look like I'm gonna get anything. I'll be right back. Give me a second. And there's nothing for me to trade right here, right yet. So I will be back. Now we are getting some higher lows, but we're not breaking this level. So we're probably starting to see something like this. Mark this real quick. Starting to see something like this. Let me edit that. Make this a little bit bigger. Can't even see these lines. Right, so we're seeing this level not being violated, but look at this angle. So we're kind of getting like a flag pattern, which would be kind of bearish for us, right? Because we're failing to break this high, and we're making higher lows. Now we did make a higher high here, but we're pretty much flat here. So I'm looking at the body here. I also could look at the I'm looking at these lows, and also note a body. So from body to body, this body, let's see where it comes down to. So we're still inside that area. Here's the PLC. This is the dashed line, which is the PLC. I should make that a little bit bigger for us. Now, we're trying to break out of this level. Again, I won't take a trade because I'm breaking right into a support level, which is this value area. So I'm not going to take that trade. And we came down, made a double top, double bottom. So we may see a rejection here or a move higher off of this level. All right, the market's still fresh. So got some pretty good volume in the market at this point. If we blow through here, then I just missed the flag trade, but I don't mind because it's early. I will get my trade eventually. If I don't, then it wasn't meant to be for me today. And see, we did make a double bottom here. So the market's starting to reject that. But the problem is, like, it rejects it and it's so big already. And look how far it moves off. Like, it's hard to really catch that trade right there. And then we're back inside this pattern again right now. So this candle, a little bit outside, but basically it's right here. So we're pretty much like this. Still have a little flag pattern. So we're still inside that area. And it's so early in the session that I just really need to make sure of my levels, make sure of things being a more definitive trade for me. Like what I would look at is if the levels tested so many times. So again, this is a good support and resistance area. And I did have a rejection here, but the only reason I'm not trading it is because I'm inside this flag. Now I could have traded that and traded it up to this level, but I didn't really understand the breakthrough and then close back in. I know we're inside, but we made a double bottom, so that would have been a good sign. But the candle pushed off so far. So I'll be right back. probably trade up till 12, watch the market at 12 to see if we flatten out. So what I'll look for at 12 is a consolidation, and then see what happens at 1 o'clock. Remember how I told you guys? So between 12:30 and 1, sometime at 12:30 the market will move a little bit or pretty good, and then 1 o'clock it really moves because again, most institutional traders are at lunch between 12 and 12:30, 12 to 1. So once everybody's back at 1, you'll start seeing some more movement. So really nothing right now, but look at this pattern. That's main to see that. Looks like we're trying to break to the upside. Usually this breaks to, well, it does. It all depends. If the market was pushing up already, it usually breaks to the upside. But pushing down, it's like a pause and then it breaks back to the downside, usually. But there's no guarantees in trading. If there were some guarantees, we could all be rich. But we can't figure out those guarantees. Now, if I had traded this rejection off of this level, and had this been probably later in the day, and I had a good support level here, I would have traded the rejection level. So now it's like I'm trying to see what the market's going to do. It looks like it's a flat day, almost like a not much of a trending day. So one thing that will get me messed up is like if you're thinking the market's trending and it's ranging and you're trading it like it's trending, now we're breaking through this level maybe. See, yeah, this is the down, then the pause is the pattern, then break back through. Man, triple bottom. Strong support there, maybe. Again, this is where most of the trading is taking place between these two blue lines, 70%. Not the trading, the trading volume, basically. So, yeah, the trading. In this area, not as much. So you figure 30%, this is 70, the rest is 30. This is probably like 29%. There's hardly any of the trading taking place down here at this point. So the value area is pushed right up to the bottom of the volume profile. Now we still stayed inside this pattern, really, as you could see. We didn't really break out of it. So a market like this off of the level here, we kind of stayed inside of it still. Now it does look like it's really outside of it. See if it stays. Because we made a triple bottom off of this level already, so this is a strong level. See if the market can break through that level. Right now, it doesn't appear to be. But this is why I'm telling you with like trading the ES, you have to really understand what the asset that you're trading. So know how it reacts, what it does. You could see it makes pretty big moves and then rejections and big wick candles and pulls back a lot on you on one candle and so forth. So that's why I say don't be greedy. Get your profit. So 9:55. It's not even a half hour yet that the market since the market's opened. Looks like we're trying to break this level, pushing up towards it. Well, we're breaking this level for sure. Well, not actually, because we have wicks all down here. So that level was a good level that we drew previously. And I probably could even extended it a little bit, but now we close below it, but we're inside these wicks. So still not going to take a trade. Now I could tell you that you could see the move down, big move. So then usually when you see a big move like this, you get into some kind of consolidation and then continuation or reversal. So this pattern is well noted trading. These, then we're pushing lower. We're probably pushing towards this level, which is my VWAP. Look for the market to push towards this level because the market just opened. We're going to get closer to fair value. And if it wasn't so early in the session, I probably would look for a trade right off of this level. So here's the overnight. This is the low of the session now. That's what that's pushing it down. This is the high. So we got the low and the high of the session right now. This is the low currently. Look how much these candles drop and then push back and so forth. That's hard for you, really, when you're depending on how much you're trying to make, or if you're in a trade and it pulls back like you on that, like that. You go from 200 to 50 $50 or whatever. It's ridiculous. It's hard to trade. So we're also going to be looking at the US 30. Might show you some of that today, but I want to basically focus on the 11, I mean the 12:30, 1 o'clock session time frame on this. So look, we're close to that level. We didn't quite get to it, but we're very close on that level. Broke out of the opening range here. Little break here. Then we had a little break here. Then we had a decent break here. I didn't trade any of these breakouts of this range. So it looks like we're outside of the opening range. Now the IB level is going to be from the 930 high and low. From 930 to 1030. The high and low between 930 and 1030. So it's only 10, like almost 10 o'clock. So we got a while before we see the IB high and low. This could be the high. And remember, I told you like at 10:30, actually not 10:30, 11 o'clock. 10:30 is actually going to give you a 70% definitive high and low, and then high or low. So it could either be 70% that's your high or that's your low, if that within that time frame. Then you go to 11 o'clock, that becomes now 90% that you have your high and low, high or low. Not your high and low, but your high or your low established. And we eventually break one of those. So we're pushing back up to this resistance point. Good opportunity to take a trade. So I will be looking at this. So usually I like to walk this. The market moves so fast. Once it moves up into my area, so on a slower candle, I would be able to put my entry here once we get up into this area. Now I could put my short here. Put a short there. I didn't take that trade. Man, too slow. And we pushed way up here. Too slow. Let's see if it even works though. Oh well, could have had a good trade there. No big deal. pushing right back to this level again, VWAP. So I could have had a good trade here. I really don't like these major big candles like that because it doesn't really give me a chance to get in unless I walk that zone. And I didn't do it. Had a good support and resistance drawn. So now I'm actually trying to catch a trade and I missed this one. No big deal. This is like a very bearish pattern here. This candle is very bearish, but we're right at the value level too. So had I taken that short that we looked at, I'd have been okay. I'm still okay because I'm at nothing right now. So I'm okay. So now it looks like we're trying to push right back up to this level again. That's going to be a good level to look at. Keep that level there. So this level that we drew previously, we'll look at this level. And then we'll look at this level. Came right back up to this point again, and then we're bouncing in between this support and resistance level. So it looks like we're trying to make another pattern here because look at the lows becoming a little higher. But we haven't really started to make the pattern all the way. But this was the pattern here. Now you go on by these bodies, we are making that pattern because we're not closing lower than the previous candle's body. So that's kind of important also. Now it looks like we're breaking VWAP. Push them way down. I'm not going to just jump in here. I want to see a retest if it's going to be a violation of this level. I want to see a retest of these lows right here. And it could still close right here because look at what it's doing. So it could still close right here. And then this level will be holding as support. Then I'll look for some kind of signal if it's going to hold here. See, now we pushed way up to this level. This is where I really want to be in the trade at this level if I'm going to go long or short. But we're also pushing up again. Look at this formation that we're developing off of the bottom. So just looking at the bodies, let's see where this body closes if it violates this. It doesn't have long to do it because it's almost getting ready to close. So if this candle closes up here and it's upper third, I'm going to think about taking a trade. Okay, I'm going to take this trade. Pull back and trigger me. I'm triggered into the trade. My stop loss right below that candle low. I'm going to move it right there. I take profit. Actually, I'll just leave it here for now because I may be looking at this level for profit. See how the market, how the candles react. So hopefully we stay above this red line that I drew. Right now we're negative. Let's get rid of this for now. We know what we need to see. But we weren't able to close lower, and we were flat here. So we weren't able to close lower than this candle, this candle, this candle, and then this candle, which rejected. So that was a major sign here. You could see right now we can't break through these highs, not well, these levels here, these upper bodies, but we were able to push, make higher, basically higher closes and opens. So we were at this point, we're moving higher, higher close, and then so forth. Um, we're not looking great at this point. So one thing I don't want to see is start to make new lows. Now this, since this is the biggest low, this is going to be like, if we get a close above this level, this will be a fractal rejection, big wick candle. So it's surprising how the market hasn't moved off of this level really since such a big rejection at this point. I would have suspected the move off of this level already. So we'll see what happens. Not looking super great, but the only major thing is we're able to stay above these bodies here, haven't closed below. Okay, so that'll be a kind of a major thing too. Now, closing below those bodies, I still want to see if we can hold this level, and I won't give it too much room after that. But it moves quickly at points, so you have to make a decision what you're going to do. So we're getting all right. Now we're back to even. And probably if I was using, like we were talking about the 3/8 trap or the 820, the 821 trap, basically where I'm using my three moving averages, I probably might have had an opportunity to trade that here, maybe here. But the reason didn't, I don't have it on my chart is really the market. I want to see the market direction, and after that, then I'll throw it on my chart. Because if we don't break out of this IB level, then we're not going to really be trending. So I want to make sure we're trending. And now I don't like where I closed. All right. And I don't like what I'm saying. Well, actually, if you look at it now, so we're pushing lower, but we're not breaking this low level here. So let's see what the market's going to give me. If it's going to take me out right here or what. Looks like we dropped a little bit. Caught some of these people. And now we move higher. Caught some of these shorts. Now we're pushing higher. Maybe. See how much we came back here? I mean, this is tough. It's hard to judge what's really happening here, and because a lot of profits being taken really quickly. But again, this is a higher volume area right here. You could see, especially these two areas right here, and we're bouncing right off of that level. It's not the highest level. The highest area is over here. Actually, right here where the PLC is. I didn't see it below us. It was right here. So this is the highest level, and we're pushing back up to that level. So I'm in a little bit of profit here. Might push back to this level here, right here. So we may see the market push here. If it goes below this, I'm gonna take my profit. Let me make this a trend line. So that's gonna be my level because we're bounce off of these highs here. I'll be right back to where I started basically. A little bit higher than where I opened up. But I didn't make so much profit yet, so I'm all right with letting it push back here. Now, actually, I would tell you guys to take your profit here at this level because it's a support and resistance level. It's a good resistance level. I'm going to, since it's pushing here, I'm going to see how it reacts here. So I don't want to take my profit yet. But I would definitely tell you, take your profit at this point because we couldn't look to short here, maybe, depending on what this candle looks like. So my first trade, let's see if we remain profitable. This candle's getting ready to close. So this low is going to be the main level. I'll bring my stop loss up. No need to lose that much right there. So we could pretty much be close to even, break even. A little bit past break even. Not going to be much profit if we drop through this level. So I'm giving this level a chance to hold because I got a low here. If it comes back to this point, then I'll be out of the market. So move it up closer to that line right there. Now let's see if this level holds because look what's happening now. Let me draw this. Got a low and another low. Let's see if this low stays. Man, might get all, that's all I get. So are we going to close lower than this low or higher than this high or be inside this candle? We'll see. looking good. This candle doesn't have long. If it stays like this, I'm probably going to just take this profit. So indecision candle. Let's go like this. Let's move this stop loss up to this low. A little bit above that, below that low. Right there. So I want to see this level, if we could get through it or not. Let's move this target to here. We have a nice support and resistance level and the value area. So we could look at that level. I'm going to move it up to that level. Right up to these wicks. Right up to these wicks. At least to this level. Don't be too greedy. That's the value level, high. So we'll look at that point. So I'm right at the value level. So I went basically from value level low to value level high. If we could get to that point, looks like we're going to have an issue right here. Let's see what the candle does for us. Actually, I'm going to move that stop loss up too. So it looks like this candle will hold, and it does. So we're going to put this stop loss up to the low. We're making some profit right at 200 right now, right at that level. I don't want to be too greedy. So 200 is basically the 8 ticks that I pretty much tell you about. So that's where we are at this level. I'm a little bit beyond that. If I don't take profit here, I'm going a little bit beyond the 8 ticks. Oh man, pushing back. My stop loss is on the bottom side of the support. So I'll go from 200 to 100, basically. I'll be a little more than 100. Also, it's almost 10, it's 10:20 basically. This may be the IB low and IB high. So we may already have the IB low and high. So we're between those levels. So I forget the distance. Let me see. That's 89. We're at 225. I need to put that right back at this level in case we don't get through there. trade. $262.50 you can see right here for this session so far. So let's see what happens here. That level moved up on me, so this is a good level. So here we would be looking at a short quite possibly, but I just got out of a trade. I'm not going to go right and reverse my position. I'm going to keep that support and resistance level there. So 262.50 between 9:30 and basically 10:20. So not quite an hour. I get $262.50. I'm not too upset with that, considering we look kind of worried here and here. But also take notice of the patterns. Just like looking at these lows, but look at this pattern we had here. I wasn't able to catch it because of the way it broke out. But that's an important pattern for me to look at. So we want to see where this is going to be still a nice support level. Let's move this level over here so we could keep it throughout the day. And we only drew that level off of this node that we had at that point. Now here it looks like a good resistance point, support and resistance point also, and maybe up here. So where I would look for support and resistance now is going to be this area right here, because we have this level, this level, this level. So this is a good support level. So depending on how this candle goes, we could look for a bounce back to the downside maybe, or if we violate these candles here, we could be looking at the market moving much higher, back up to this level if we get through here. Soon I'll erase some of this stuff because it's getting in my way. So if you get a good setup here, we could take a short quite possibly. But the bulls pushed this thing right back up. But it also showed that the bears were willing to come in the market at this point. So that's a big factor. So let's see. When you have this hangman at resistance, it's a good short opportunity because what it shows is that you had the trend that we just had, and then it showed that the bears were willing to come into the market at this level. But the bulls still had the strength enough to push it up. But will they maintain? Let's see on this candle. So this candle would be probably the candle that you could determine if the bears can overcome the bulls. If we close here, this would be a good entry, short. Hmm. Too late. Looks like we missed this opportunity. Candle too big anyway, so. See what I mean? How far we push down and then how far we're pushing right back up. That's very hard to trade at times when the market's a little more calmer. That's why I usually wait till like 10:30, and then definitely you're going to see the market slow down. Then lunchtime comes. This candle's getting ready to close. Another hangman basically we drew. This is a weak, this is a bearish market right here. Not a bearish market, but some bears are coming into the market right here. Let's see if they can violate. Let's see if bulls can violate this level. I don't like to get right back into the market, but basically just playing this support and resistance. Uh, Depending here, if we can't break this level, if we stay flat here, then we probably see the market drop. If not, we break this level. We see the market move higher up to this area. This candle's getting ready to close. If we stay here, we pushed up, consolidated, we may push up. Because we're consolidating. So basically, I tell you guys, when you consolidate, box it in. Then you could see what's happening. That's the way you want to go once it breaks either way. So, new candle. Let's see where we break, if we break upside or downside. So we just broke the lower side. So the market may, this bearish momentum may hold. But, and see how much time you got to really think about stuff? Now that market's gone. So we closed, we broke here, and then the market went. I always tell you guys, when you box this market in, look for where it's going to. So now we have our support here, and then also we have lower support here. We also have some support. So basically we got our support zone right here. See what the market does. So we have support here, and then if we can violate that level, we have a little bit of support here. So I'll make another level here. This is another support and resistance area. Right there. I'm not going to keep it colored in. We're sitting at this level now. We pushed right to this level. Let's edit this. Properties. We don't want to get rid of that. We don't want to have it like that. But again, see that consolidation, then it told you the way the market was going. Plus we had two hangmen, a very good strong hangman here. Shows how much the bears wanted to get into the market right here after this move. Indecision here right at this level, but then we saw the bulls take over. Bears were still pushing this thing here, and what happened was basically they wanted to come into the market here right above this level, and that's where they came into the market. Now we sitting on this level. Let's see if we violate this level. Sometimes I'm not catching trades because the candle's too big for me, or unless I play the level, and I haven't really had a good opportunity. I didn't really feel this was a good support and resistance level. I thought it was a pattern, and I figured we would break to the downside, but I should have really looked at putting an entry here. So like this is good to this is after the fact, and it's easy to see this after the fact. So when we got here, I didn't want to hesitate here because I hesitated here, and what it showed me now, I was worried about the bulls getting beat right here, but they were able to maintain, and then they maintained where we got pushed down. So this is one. These two candles together would be an indecision candle. So look what's happening here. We may be pushing back to this level. Man, how low did this thing go? Back to this level where I had the support. Remember, we put a level here. Went right back to this level. Remember, we had this level. Just erased it. We had a level right there off of this wick, and I just took it off, but it came back to this point. Man, see how the market moves. But the thing is, you may have these levels, that the thing is catching the entry. So you could see most of these aren't easy to get. So we played right back and forth between support and resistance. This is one that we should have been able to take. This was the main one we could have taken. This one was a little hard. It pushed so far deep. Usually I tell you to walk the zone, have your level here for entry. Had we done that, we'd have been in a trade. Let's see what we're having happen. Wow, we're bouncing between this level, these two levels. So your value area high and your this POC level. So we're bouncing between the value high and the POC. Really, that's what this is right here. But the thing is, we are bouncing on these levels, but it's just getting into those trades because the market pushes off of it so hard. So I would really have to play the level. Like down here, I had a good rejection, and it was easier to play this. It would have been easier to play this had I really understood what was happening here. But the market was just opening. Kind of started to see the pattern. But even though seeing the pattern, the market dropped this deep on me. I don't want to be that far away from the entry, from the level. I mean, that wasn't super far, and we could have suspected that it would have probably dropped down into this area where VWAP was. But what we're having now is just the market between the POC and the value area high. So the market loves to make this pattern. This market does. S&P 500. So watch. Kind of started to do it here, but it was different. You see how it was angled to the downside. It was flat here. So we look at it's not breaking the flat area, it's breaking the angled section. So we were angled here, flat here, and it looks like we broke up here. So I look for this pattern all the time. So looking again, here's this upper level. Here's what the market's trying to do, quite possibly. pattern again. Same pattern here, same pattern here, consolidation here. So it consolidated and broke. So basically, again, we talk about that consolidation and taking those consolidation trades. This one was one right here that we could have been in, but we were already in the market at this point. So it didn't really matter. But had you not been in the market and you saw this support level, then you could have taken the break here because we broke consolidation, broke out of that, move higher to the resistance level. So this market right now is just playing between these levels. And that was my last trade. So from here to here, clocked in 262.50. So no trades other than that at this point. But again, look at this pattern developing. So my thing is, if I take the trade, this pattern, it looks like we're only going to this point. So is the risk worth the reward here? So I don't know. So if we break, we're right near support. If I break, so would I take this trade? If we break to the upside, we're right near resistance, the value level. It looks like a very good resistance point. So if we broke something like this, let's see what happens. We're still inside. Looks like it's staying inside. So we're still in this pattern. Now we kind of, did we gap out of that a little bit? No, not really. Now see, we're back, right back at support. So taking this trade, I would have been able to maybe just clock that much had I taken it here. But I didn't have a good decision to take that trade because look how close I am to the support level. So kind of hard to take that. Whoa, we broke pretty big. Coming back to the value level. And we have support all down here. See, there was no way for me to catch this again. So even though the pattern was seen or developed, just really hard to catch it sometime. Couldn't really catch that. And it's not like I'm going to put my entry slightly below. All right. I could do this, but you could see each low. And then we get this low here. Think about putting an entry at that point. We don't know how much it's going to stay in here and if it's really going to break that way. I want to get the confirmation of the break and miss that. So maybe a bounce here. We already have good level. So we're looking like we're flat here. Now looking like another bottom, basically. Looks like we got support here. Let's see what this candle looks like. Looks like it's trying to get through that level. Let's see what it does here. This is the session low. Made a new low. So 1030, remember? So this is our high, more than likely. So we may see the market continue to the downside throughout the day, or stay in this ranging area here between these areas. So made a new low, broke this low. Now let me clear some stuff up. We don't need this anymore. We don't need this pattern anymore. We didn't catch it. We don't need this pattern. We could still keep some of these support and resistance levels. This one, I'll keep that. This was major. This one is major. So I don't know what the market is pushing now. Let's see. Where is it trying to go to? Right there. This level right here. See, we have support, support, support. I'm going to put another level here. Just right there. So we're basically into this area. So does it push back down to that level? Yep. Right at this level. Finding support. So basically, guys, it's just like, let me get rid of that. Finding these support and resistance levels and trading them. If you could get a trend like this, then you can trade that. You see how these candle sizes are much smaller as opposed to these bigger candles. This is a little easier to trade, a little bit slower, less volume, so it's slower. These are bigger candles, much quicker, moving faster, a lot of volume coming into the market. This is much easier for you to trade. It's a little bit slower. Now the market will slow down a little bit because we'll start losing volume. Then you get slower. Then you get about, you always want to watch for around 12:30, 1 o'clock for some good movement. Now you can see we came right off of that level that we just drew. Just drew that level, came off of that level. Again, would have been hard to catch this one. So now let's see if we get a bounce off of this level. So I want to see if the market's going to establish a trend. Are we going to stay ranging? We're kind of developing a trend because we're going high, lower high. So we're making a nice N wave. So I guarantee we're probably like near 1-to-1, not too far. So we have an N wave to the downside. So the market is bearish. It is in a bearish trend, immediate trend, basically. All right. So we're just talking about this session open. From this session open, we're in a bearish trend. You had to move down. You corrected. Now you're back down again. So this looks like a bearish day today. Might see this level hold. Now this is a strong bullish sign right here. All right. we have this level here, basically the bottom of this support and resistance level. We pushed right up to it. So we may be bouncing here. We got this support level now, which is now resistance. We broke right through this support level that we have right here. Broke right through it. Came down to a new support from previous day. Then pushing right back up to this level again. Might see the market drop back down to this level or violate this level. Make a new low. That's a nice bearish sign off of the resistance point. So this low right here, if we close below this, if we break this level, this is where I would look at getting into a trade short. Because we have this resistance point. Now, even though we're pushing here, we always get a lot of rejection or a lot of wicks on this. So let's see what it's doing. So one trade on the day so far. This didn't do what we thought. So it violated this level. Still not going to erase this level yet, because it held and broke. So maybe pushing up to this point. I want to get a definitive trade. I don't want anything, and nothing's definitive, but my setup has to be the setup that I want, or the setup that I look for, and it can't be way off of my level. So if I'm trying to get a trade at support and resistance, I'm trying to get the trade as close as possible. So there's a good opportunity to short right here. All right, and look at the rejection. So let's see what's happening here. So if this candle stays like this, then we look maybe short here. Look at the risk reward. It almost is 1-to-1, because we'd be trading right back to this support level. So all we're doing is kind of like, the market looks flat, but if you really look at it, high, high, and then let's see if this is a high and remains a high or not. Because if it is a high, then the market is trending to the downside. Then we can start looking more for a trending, our trending setup. So we could put the 3821 back onto the charts and trade that way. So I like to open up without 3821, just so I want to see what the market's like, the levels, if we're going to be ranging or flat or trending. Once I realize if we're trending, then I can start looking for trending setups. Now I'm going to put an entry at this point. Sell that level. We may not get this trade. We're going to look for this right here. may get this trade, we may not. It's starting to do that pattern again. Let's see if we get triggered. If it does the pattern, that's good. And then here's the top. So let's see what this candle does. I'm triggered into the trade already. I actually don't want my stop loss there. Risk so much on this trade. Going right back to the candle. Slightly above the candle, I'm always going to be. All right, I'll start out a little deeper and then I'll set my stop loss. But right at this candle, so I'm only going to take that loss right there. Okay, I'm in some profit. Not a lot of profit. This candle will be important for me. Let me get stopped out here. Not looking good at this point. Decrease in volume at the resistance point. We should see this market drop to the downside. If we could get through this level, if we don't get through that level, we may be flattening out. Let's see if we even get off of this upper level. Got to get off of there. I'm about to try to break even on this if we have to. But we still have a good setup. We broke this little pattern. We didn't really get the pattern developed. We had two low and high. So I'm gonna put my stop loss slide about break even. Be a little bit above break even. So we're a little bit above this wick here. Now we're pushing lower, so let's see. This level here, you could see this level. I should have looked at this. I didn't see this. But you could see where these wicks are bouncing off of this wick area, this whole area. So basically when you're looking at this, it's an area like this. It's basically this right there. taken out of the trade. We made our profit there today, 38750. So probably could have held on to this trade a little bit. I guess I was on mute. Hold on, I'll be back though. All right, so I think I was on mute one before I just got up, but I was just basically trying to tell you guys that looking at the VP here, we're between the value areas. So if we're trading between those two areas, then we're pretty flat. But we were outside of that area for a little bit here. But basically, you can see, so we have this little bell curve, and that's what you see in the market. And we are flat here. So there's opportunity to maybe take a long here, and it's now 11 a.m. So about 12 will be done for till 1 o'clock. And it looks like we're going to push off of this level. We don't need that anymore. Let's extend this. Good opportunity to take a long here. I'm going to wait. I just got out of the market. I don't want to be in and out. Now, a good setup, yeah, and it is a good setup, but I just got out of the market. So I'm going to wait and see what it's doing here. Pretty much see what the day is looking like. All right. The market's a little bit slower. The candles are a little bit smaller than earlier because a little bit less volume. All right. And then also it's getting ready. It's 11 o'clock, but noontime, you'll probably start to see these candles a lot smaller and maybe consolidation, maybe like in a small range between 12 and 12:30 to 12 and 1 o'clock. That's when these institutional traders will be out to lunch. All right. So they'll be out to lunch between 12 and 12:30 and 12 and 1 o'clock. So basically between usually at around 1 o'clock, you start looking for some more movement in the market. So playing the support and resistance is like the best part of trading, but you just have to see these levels, and the volume profile helps you to find some of these levels. Plus, they're already there for you. The main levels we really been trading off of, I didn't really even have to draw because we bounced off of this upper level, which was this value level high and the value area high. I mean, the value area high and the value area low. And then your PLC, there's a nice zone in that area. Then there's a zone at the bottom and the top of the value areas. So those have been good areas right now to just trade. All right. And sometime you'll push away from this PLC. That'll let you know that the market's ranging. I'm trending also. So you'll push farther away from it. And the market's ranging. If you have a developing PLC, you'll see that push moving with the market pretty much, and then you'll know you're trending, which direction you're really trending. We're pretty much staying right here, haven't really changed much throughout the day. So really that means we're flat, but I do see a slight trend developing, and eventually we may see it push lower or break this trend line and push higher. So we don't really need anything on our chart to trade this support and resistance levels because the indicators will get us in slower. We need to trade. We can't wait to get into the trade like here, and we're trading to this level. So where we took a trade would basically be like, so we would want to, like, if you're waiting to see yourself get into this trade, by the time you think about it, the candle's already pushed up to the resistance point. So you have to trade this support and resistance level based off of the price action. All right. And there's some other things you could do, and we'll get deeper into that. So I'm not real good at reading the tape, but trying to get better at that. Just another tool that can help you. So I'm not sure. It looks like we're holding here. Let me show these levels. We could see these levels where we need to see. Looks like we deleted that level. Let's put it back. Then let's see if we need to make it darker. What am I looking to do? Let's see what else is over here. This level. Gonna mark this level. Now it doesn't look like anything honored this level, so I'm gonna just wait. So just that quick, we pushed off of this level, so I missed out here.